afternoon and welcome to RMU Live. Today is Monday, October 25th. I'm Sam Dutch.
And I'm Kaylee Whitlatch. Here's what's happening now.
Diane Reed pleaded guilty to charges stemming from 2020. She was convicted and pleaded guilty to killing 2 people in a drunk driving crash that happened in 2020. 2 passengers in the car were killed when Reed crashed into a Kogo's in Middlesex Township in Butler County. She will spend at least 36 months in prison. A man was injured after his truck slammed into a house in Mercer County last evening. The driver lost control of the vehicle while driving along North Maple Street in Mercer County and hit the home so hard that it was knocked off of its foundation. The homeowner won't be able to stay there until repairs are made, and the condition of the driver is unknown at this time.
A Clairton man has pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a 14-year-old. Walter Gardner was the manager of a McDonald's in Bethel Park where the assault happened. He was sentenced to 4 to 10 years in prison and 5 years probation. A North Hill student is facing attempted homicide charges after allegedly poisoning his parents on 2 separate occasions. The teen admitted that he poisoned his parents with insect killer on October 15th and poisoned their spaghetti sauce with Murphy's oil soap on Wednesday. He is now facing aggravated assault and criminal attempted homicide charges. The parents are in stable condition.
A man was listed in critical condition after being shot in the stomach in Swissvale early Sunday morning. The incident occurred in the 7500 block of Washington Avenue around 2:12 a.m. Responders found an adult male victim suffering from a gunshot wound to the stomach, and he is listed in critical condition. Homicide detectives initiated an investigation. A man was injured in the shooting incident in the Lincoln-Leamington area of Pittsburgh early Sunday morning. The shooting occurred near the intersection of Lincoln Avenue and Leamington Avenue around 2:30 a.m., according to police. A male with a gunshot wound to the torso was found at the scene. The victim was taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition. No arrests have been made at this time.
The Enrollment Management Division will offer a professional development opportunity for RMU staff and faculty members focused on college affordability. Jacqueline Frost, Associate Director of Financial Aid and Director of the College Affordability Academy, will cover 3 virtual sessions starting in early or mid-November. 3 enrollment management employees have been promoted. Caitlin Engel is now the Director of First-Year Admissions. Missy White is now Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions, and Carly Phillips is now Senior Admissions Counselor. The Top Secret Colonials had Robert Morris students laughing for a cure when they invited Matt Light back on campus. Hope Beatty has more.
In just a short while, the second Laughing for a Cure event will begin in RMU's Yorktown Hall. The event, hosted by the Top Secret Colonials, will feature local comedian and cancer survivor Matt Light.
After a year-long wait, Matt Light came back to Robert Morris University to participate in the second Laughing for a Cure event.
Cancer is something that's very close to me. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2013, and so anytime I can do an event like this to give back and try to raise money for people that were in my situation.
The event, hosted by the Top Secret Colonials, was held Friday night in RMU's Yorktown Hall.
It all started in 2019 when we first put on this event. Matt Light is Pittsburgh's #1 comedian. He is a survivor of Hodgkin's lymphoma, and the whole event is to raise money for cancer research. So he was very for a cause, and the event benefits Stanley and Mark's Blood Research Foundation.
The show opened with acts from Mike Zidell and Eric Nesby. At the conclusion of the event, patrons could buy tickets for the silent auction, all proceeds benefiting the Stanley M. Marks Blood Cancer Research Fund.
After a lot of laughter and fun, Matt Light left the crowd with a message. Live in the moment and don't dwell on the past. For RMU Live, I'm Hope Beatty.
Thanks, Hope. The RMU Department of Athletics will celebrate the return of college basketball and the return of spectators to arenas for Madness on Thursday at 8 p.m. at the UPMC Event Center. Doors for Madness will open at 7:30. The event will feature performances from DJ Billy B and the RMU Band. The university will honor the accomplishments of the basketball teams during the 2019-2020 season at Madness. Speaking of RMU basketball, let's send it over to Sam Goldberg to give us a deeper look at Colonial sports. Sam, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Well, the Colonials' road struggles continued. as they fell to Gardner-Webb by a score of 28-17. Quarterback George Martin probably had his worst game on the season, passing for only 202 yards and throwing 1 touchdown, but had 3 interceptions on the day. The lone bright spot in the game was again wide receiver James Westry, who had 6 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. Also, running back Elijah Jackson had 21 carries for 61 yards. The Colonials are now on a 2-game skid, but good news for them, they are back home against Hampton this upcoming weekend. The Colonials have a 2-0 record at home. Moving to the hardwood, as the volleyball team look to turn their fortunes around this week, facing Wright State, Oakland, and Cleveland State. Unfortunately, they would lose all 3 of these matches by a score of 3-0, extending their losing streak to 6 games and making their overall record of 9-15 with a conference record of just 2-10. They will play Purdue Fort Wayne in their next matchup. Now to the pitch, as women's soccer had 1 match this week, and they would take the loss on the road to Cleveland State by a score of 2-0. RMU will finish their regular season against Youngstown State this Wednesday. Finally, men's soccer had 2 matches this week. First, a non-conference matchup against VMI, which was to raise money for cancer research. The Colonials would be victorious, taking the 4-1 victory. Forward Brian Akongo had a hat trick in the game, making his goal total 4 games on the season. Also, RMU will face Detroit Mercy as well. The game went the distance, but there was no victor declared, as the game would finish in a 0-0 draw. RMU will face Green Bay in their next matchup and will look to finish the regular season strong. That's all for me, guys. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Sam. Students are walking for safety this weekend to advocate against drunk driving. Aaron Fryer has more.
Here I am at Sigma Tau Gamma's 2nd annual walkathon. This year they're raising money to help prevent drunk driving within the RMU faculty. The events here include many things. They have food, they have drinks, they have karaoke, and above all, they are raising awareness.
This past Friday to Saturday, many students showed up to the Nicholson front lawn to show support for the cause. Fundraising was an important part, as there were incentives for participation.
Creepy Conference presented by the English program and Sigma Tau Alpha. RMU's 13th Creepy Conference presented by English program and Sigma Tau Alpha is set for 7 to 8:30 p.m. Tuesday, October 26th in the Wheatley Atrium. It will include a costume contest and will feature presentations by various students and a media arts professor. The event is free and open to everyone, and it will include snacks. The leaves on campus have been changing color, which means that fall is taking off. Let's send it over to Jackie Rossa to tell us if we can see fall temperatures today.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at today's forecast. Today is going to be a high of 60 degrees with a low of 45. Humidity is going to be at 66%, and there's going to be a 50% chance of rain. For the hourly, 3 p.m. is going to be cloudy at 67 degrees. 6 p.m. you might want to take cover with the rain at 64 degrees, and 9 p.m. is going to be a clear night at 59 degrees. For tomorrow's weather, do not forget your anti-frizz, because humidity is going to be at 83% with a chance of rain at 60%. The high is going to be at 56 degrees, and the low is going to be 47. That's all from me right now. How about we go back to the desk?
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break, a United States representative has been released from the hospital.
We will tell you why he was there and when he was released. Stay tuned.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to get back to field trips with my school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
It's time to make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines. The dangerous new Delta variant is more than twice as contagious as the original virus and can affect anyone. Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations and deaths from COVID are among unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated might save your life, and there's now an option that's fully approved by the FDA. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to RMU Live. According to the RMU COVID-19 dashboard, 8 students and 2 employees are currently in isolation, and 8 students and 9 employees are currently in quarantine. Individuals in isolation have tested positive for COVID-19, while individuals in quarantine have shown symptoms and are awaiting test results or have been exposed to an infected person. Pennsylvania Congressman Glenn Thompson has been released from Walter Reed Hospital after receiving treatment for COVID-19. He had been taken on Friday after he had been experiencing cold-like symptoms and then tested positive for COVID. He has since returned to his home in Pennsylvania to recover and will work virtually from home next week.
28 million children between the ages of 5 and 11 may soon be eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as the coming week. The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Board is meeting on Tuesday to consider authorizing the Pfizer vaccine for younger kids. CNN's Nadia Romero has details.
Just how soon could kids ages 5 to 11 get a COVID-19 vaccine? On the current timeline, it could be as soon as November. But first, the FDA and CDC must sign off. Tuesday, an FDA advisory committee is scheduled to meet to discuss whether to recommend authorization for the Pfizer vaccine for kids 5 to 11.
It's going to protect them. Obviously, it's also going to add population immunity to our broader population, will help bring infection numbers down. It is going to be one more important step towards getting to the end of this pandemic.
Kids make up about a quarter of all COVID cases in the U.S. Nationwide data shows COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths all declining. Health experts point to the vaccine.
If we add children to that mix, we can get our numbers way higher up and hopefully prevent any more variants from coming.
But Pfizer officials will not only have to convince FDA vaccine advisors for emergency use authorization. Ultimately, it's up to parents of kids ages 5 to 11 to allow them to get the vaccine. A recent Kaiser Family Foundation survey in September found about a third of parents in that age range say they would take a wait-and-see approach, and another third of parents say they'd let their kids get the vaccine right away.
Talk to your pediatrician if you have questions, but we know that 6 million kids have had COVID, over 1 million in the last 6 weeks. They can get it, they can spread it.
If the FDA and CDC authorize the vaccine, then kids ages 5 to 11 could potentially be fully vaccinated by the winter holidays.
If you plan on hosting family and friends this holiday season, you may want to start stocking up on gifts now. Major retailers don't anticipate the national supply chain crisis will end anytime soon. John Lorenick reports.
Last-minute shoppers may want to change their ways this holiday season.
Order early. I think we have to set realistic expectations.
Disruptions related to the COVID-19 pandemic are affecting the global supply chain. There's been gridlock at the Port of Los Angeles, where shipping containers holding everything from toys to sneakers have been stuck offshore. Among the products affected, alcohol.
We had 50 people waiting in line just to see what we had coming in this morning, because it's a guessing game for us just as the guest. They don't know what's coming. We don't know what's coming. We see the orders the day before. We get them in the morning. We put it out for sale, and they're gone by the end of the day.
Large food producers warn some of their products could be limited come fall and winter. Some fear President Biden's December 8th mandate for companies who work with the federal government to lay off employees who don't get vaccinated for COVID-19 will make matters worse.
Because we already have a critical shortage of folks that are working through the supply chain, that order would only exacerbate the issue.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The National Association of Wholesaler Distributors say they are pushing for all workers to be vaccinated. But ads some are threatening to quit rather than get their shots. Officials at the association are calling on the White House to delay the December 8th vaccine deadline and to amend the order to feature a testing option.
A one-time member of the Trump administration is expected to testify about the 2021 siege on the U.S. Capitol. Former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark will comply with a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Clark's upcoming appearance, confirmed to CNN by Representative Jamie Raskin, is scheduled for Friday. Democratic leaders are trying to determine what then-President Donald Trump and Republican members of the Congress said about attempting to overthrow the 2020 election prior to the riot in January. On a related note, CNN confirms former Trump White House communications official Alyssa Farah has met with the two Republicans on the House Select Committee voluntarily to provide information.
Information from the Facebook whistleblower is providing more about the company's role in the U.S. Capitol riots on January 6th. Frances Haugen provided Congress redacted internal documents from Facebook about the insurrection. The tens of thousands of pages include an internal analysis by Facebook focused on the spread of the Stop the Steal and Patriot Party movements. The analysis found Facebook's policies did not slow down or stop the growth of either campaigns. It also noted that the company did not have protocols in place to stop people from organizing under their real names and posting their intentions to overturn the election. The analysis also pointed out that Facebook treated each person or group involved in Stop the Steal individually, instead of as a collective, and it said the company did not change that approach until after the deadly January 6th riot. The analysis did highlight that once Facebook saw the insurrection, it did put in place measures that prevented the growth of both Stop the Steal and Patriot Party on its platform. Meanwhile, a second Facebook whistleblower has come forward to support Haugen's allegations. They are choosing to remain anonymous.
Coming up after the break, Sam Goldberg will give us a look at Pittsburgh Sports.
And a large amount of drugs were blown up. Stay tuned.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Volver a vivir esos momentos comienza con protegerlos contra el COVID-19 y sus peligrosas variantes nuevas. Obtén la información más reciente en detidepende.org o consulta con tu pediatra o proveedor de servicios médicos.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Said I'm fine.
With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. We were underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady shared a special moment with a fan on Sunday. The young fan held up a sign reading, "Tom Brady helped me beat brain cancer." During the fourth quarter of the game versus the Chicago Bears, backup Blaine Gabbert took over for Brady. Meanwhile, Brady gave the boy his hat and shook the boy's hand. Brady said in a news conference that the exchange put things into perspective for him. Quote, "What the team does on the field does not mean much compared to what so many people go through," unquote. Speaking of the NFL, let's send it over to Sam Goldberg to give us a look at the latest in the world of sports.
Sam, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. And well, speaking of Tom Brady, over the past weekend, he also threw his 600th career passing touchdown. And a little fun fact about that, Mike Evans gave the ball away unsuspectingly. And Tom Brady won the ball back and stuff like that. And later in the press conference, Mike Evans didn't realize his mistake, but later on he did, and they all had a good laugh. And now moving back into the world of Pittsburgh sports, and the Lurs were on a bye this week, and you might be wondering what happened this weekend in Pittsburgh sports. Well, your nationally ranked football team took down Clemson in a thriller at Heinz Field. The ball game was 27-17. Kenny Pickett made another statement in why he should be the Heisman Trophy winner, as he went 25 of 39 for 302 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Jordan Addison had 5 receptions for 84 yards and 1 touchdown. The Panthers will welcome Miami next week in what should be another fun game to watch. I hope our very own Kevin Plaka will be there. The Penguins took to the ice 2 times this week and came away with 3 points. First, they lost to the Dallas Stars in overtime by a score of 2-1. John Marino had the only goal for the Pens. And then the Pens played the Maple Leafs and absolutely destroyed them by a score of 7-1. I mean, that's a blowout. The Maple Leafs are in shambles. Marcus Peterson and Drew O'Connor had big games for the Pens in this game. Peterson had a goal and 2 assists, which led to 3 points in that game, and O'Connor had 2 goals. The Pens moved to 2-0-2 on the season and will take on the Lightning at home tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pitt Volleyball almost had a major upset over the weekend as they took on number 2 Louisville. The Panthers won the first set by a score of 25-19, but would drop the next 2 sets, and the Panthers would rally back as they would win the next set by a score of 25-22. And it was tied going into the final set, in which the Panthers could not pull it out, as they would lose the final set 15-13. Tough one to lose, but they almost beat the number 2 team in the nation. That's all from me, guys. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Sam. If you are looking for more sports coverage, you can visit colonialsportscenter.com.
Or if you want to learn more about the events happening on and around campus, you can visit RMU-CenturyMedia.com.
A community raised money for the family of a postal worker killed on duty. Lou Vignon was shot in Collier Township on his delivery route on October 7th. Vignon was a community staple who people invited into their homes along his route. All money raised during this event was sent directly to his family and friends.
Allegheny County destroyed nearly $8 million in illegal drugs in their annual incineration event. 2 tons of burn boxes containing illegal street drugs used in evidence in criminal cases over the last year were burned. The collection and destruction process is court-ordered and concludes the investigation and prosecution of cases against drug dealers.
The Allegheny County Airport Authority held their annual auction of found items on Saturday. The auction returned in person this year with 2 years' worth of personal items to bid on. Nearly 1,000 pieces of jewelry and over 500 electronic items were auctioned off. Proceeds from items sold go to the authority's charitable foundation, Art in the Airport program, and aviation scholarships.
A deer has tested positive for chronic wasting disease in Jefferson County. The deer was found on the side of a road by state officials, and the positive test is leading to new rules to stop the spread of the incurable and deadly disease among elks and deer. A new disease management area will be set up in response to limit any further spread.
Coming up after the break, Jackie Rosta will be back with a full look at this week's weather.
Stay tuned with RMU Live.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
early
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one. Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Trick-or-treating will be taking place this weekend.
Let's send it over to Jackie Rasta to tell us if you'll need a jacket underneath your costume or over top. Jackie?
Thanks, guys. Today is going to be a high of 60 degrees and a low of 45. Humidity is going to be at 66%, and there's going to be a 50% chance of rain today. For tomorrow, the high is going to be 56 degrees with a low of 47. Humidity is going to be at a high 83%, and chance of rain is going to be at 60% tomorrow. For the 5-week today, Wednesday, is going to be sun and clouds with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 47. Thursday is going to be the same thing, but with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 38. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it does look like we're going to need a jacket on top of your costumes this Halloween. Friday is going to be rainy with a high of 55 degrees and a low of 33. Saturday is going to be the same thing with rain at a high of 53 degrees and a low of 48. And Sunday is not going to be a sunny day. It's going to be rain with a high of 56 degrees and a low of 46. That's all for weather today. How about we go back to the desk?
All right. So, Halloween. It's
Halloween week.
A pretty crappy weekend weather-wise.
I know. And I'm thinking about going trick-or-treating on Saturday, and I'm not feeling the whole jacket thing.
I know. It's a bummer for sure. Maybe an umbrella would help.
Maybe an umbrella. Just make it costume-themed.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'm actually going as Wanda for Halloween from WandaVision, so I might, in fact, need something to go get a jacket.
Yeah, something.
But Wanda's strong. She can handle it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about trick-or-treating, too.
Yeah.
Like the neighborhood behind campus.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes, that is a very nice neighborhood. I trick-or-treated there last year.
Yeah.
And there's very nice people, very nice community.
Good.
We went towards later in the trick-or-treat time in the Moon Township community trick-or-treating. And there were so many kids there. And then once it slowed down, all of the people were just handing out their leftover candy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I went with my one friend, and we went up to this one house, and they were like, we have so much candy left, and like trick-or-treating's over in 10 minutes.
Wow.
So, you know, it was very nice that I could just fill up the rest of my bag.
Yeah,
I just like dumped everything in.
Dump it all.
So hopefully you can get some candy over this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so.
Alrighty, and that is all for us here at RMU Live. For Sam Goldberg and Jackie Rasta, I'm Kaylee Whitlatch.
And I'm Sam Dush. We will see you next week.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other,
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward,
Come together.
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.